It's time. Welcome to Yoga Intermissions. Today is Saturday the 10th. It is 17 whopping degrees in Vermont, a little breezy. Happy to come with you into our try this at home work. Today's focus is love you to the half moon and back. If half moon is something that is not in your practice or you are not necessarily interested in working it, we are going to do a version of it from kneeling in addition to a version of it from standing. So work on opening up the hips, opening up the legs, opening up the back, and strengthening the ankles in the back with half moon. We're going to start cross-legged. If that works for your body, you can always sit in a chair with your back against the wall. Long, tall drink of water is your spine. Chin is tucked. Hands can be either face down, face down, or palms up on your thighs or in your lap. We start to come into the space, the place, the breath, the focus. And if something drifts into your mind, a thought that has nothing to do with what you're doing in this present moment, in any given present moment, just kind of shake hands with it. Just acknowledge that it is there. We are human, and that's what happens. My name is Karen, and we are with Salt and Sand Studios today. You might close your eyes or cast them downward. And now start to notice the breath. And by noticing it, you probably have changed it. If you're agitated or over-caffeinated, you might be feeling a little short of breath, and you might focus on the exhale. If you are feeling depressed or anxious or fearful or tired or sleepy, you might focus a little bit more on the in-breath. Working without a lot of effort toward a cadence. And we're going to box our breath, not in the fighting way. We're going to breathe into the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that box. You might make it shorter or longer, your choice. You could make it longer next time or the time after. We're going to take it 2 more times. When you hold your breath, you might tuck your chin and draw the belly in a little bit more. When you breathe out through the nose. If you'd like to take one more round, feel free. Otherwise, come back to a natural breath. Together, we'll breathe in as deeply as we can. Sip in a little bit more air at the top. Open your mouth, sigh it away. 2 more of those. And drop the chin to the chest. Really let it go. A little pendulum swing, left and right, taking your time. I have a few kinks in my neck this morning, so this is much needed for me. Next time the chin comes down toward the chest, lift it parallel to the earth and take a look over your left shoulder. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears, press them behind you, release them. Look farther to the left. Send your gaze way over like you could gain more peripheral vision, even if your eyes are closed. Move your chin to the middle, and as you exhale, your chin and nose turn to the other side. Shrug the shoulders up. Press them behind you, let them go. Turn your head a little bit more. I have less mobility on this side. I can feel it pinching my left shoulder a little bit. You might find some difference from one side to the other. And we don't judge. We just think that we can turn the head any amount. Gaze moves over, chin back toward the center. This time we tilt the head, the left ear toward the left shoulder. And maybe you sweep the left hand up and just place it above your right ear. Perhaps you take the right hand and tent the fingertips on the ground outside your right hip. No pulling, just some stretching along the left shoulder, collarbone. Maybe you feel it in the bicep or tricep and along the left side of the neck. Lift the head, left hand drops, right ear toward the right shoulder. And this time, right hand might lift up and rest just above your left ear. Drop your hand, lift your head, sweep your arms in front, lock them into your shoulders. Inhale, lift them overhead. Exhale, bring them out toward your side, toward the sides with the palms facing down, and then reach the palms outward. So you're bending at the wrist with the heels of the hands reaching outwards. Engage your shoulder blades toward one another. Activate your triceps. And then let's make some wipe on, wipe off motions. We're going to move in circles. They can be small or medium size. We're not going to move really large because we really want to reach out with the heels of the hands. Opposite direction. I'm going to do the same thing with the fingers pointing down. So pause and reach, getting your wingspan much larger, and then point the fingertips down. Reach away from you with the outer wrists and take your circles here. You feel like wah, a bird. And pause, flip the palms so they face up, lift them nice and high, press them together, reach with the torso, send the sitting bones to the earth, loosen the knees, and bend the elbows. See if your fingertips can come to the nape of your neck or between your shoulder blades. You're going to press your head back into your arms like they are pillows. Lift from the top of the pelvis all the way to the sternum, tuck your tailbone, and interlace your fingers behind you and press your hands to the back of your head. Open up the elbows. I'm a little teapot. We're going to tilt over to the left. Squeeze the left rib cage toward the right hip. Open up the right elbow and the right side of your chest. Lift back up. Spread the elbows, draw the belly in, tilt the other way. A double spouted teapot. Squeeze left rib cage toward right ribs. Open up the left elbow. Inhale, rise back up. Arms reach high, palms to the sky. We're going to take a twist. Left arm, right arm forward, left arm behind you, twisting over to the left. Reach. Drop your left hand behind you. Reach the right arm high, just a little bit of a twisty back bend. Lift that rib cage, lift the heart like it's shining its light to the sun. Come forward, both hands behind you. Lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone toward your heels, and find a little baby back bend. Head can drop behind you. Shoulders over the hips, arms lift. We take our twist again, this time left arm forward, right arm behind you. Right hand down, left arm high. Open up the left side of your ribs. We come forward, both hands behind us. They sweep in front. And our final one movement of the spine, we're going to roll forward nice and long in the chest. wide in the chest. Creep those hands forward as far as they can go. Pause, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the belly and walk the hands forward. Find more length and drop your head. Ah, that feels so good. Imagine you're stretching all the way from your glutes to your pinky fingers, the back side and the front side. Hands walk back. Find a long spine. Shift the cross of your legs and take that again. Hands walk back, belly helps the head and the shoulders lift up. We press the palms together at the heart center. Fingers zipped up. Thumb knuckles right at the heart space. Collarbones nice and wide. We're gonna maybe close the eyes. Consider an intention or a motivation or maybe a dedication for your practice today. Let's solidify that. Let's surround ourselves with it. Let's bring it home inside and out with the sound of Om. Breathe in as fully as you can. Now, if you're sitting on a prop, you're welcome to come off. We're going to do a little bit of hip opening and hamstring stretching before we move into our kneeling postures, which will get us into, I guess I'll call it a low half moon, a kneeling half moon. So I'm going to scoot off my pillow. Glad to have you all here today. Nice half moon icon. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, a nice big diamond inside the legs here. Scoot your wrists underneath your ankles. I have extra long pants on today. Maybe the palms come to the tops of the feet or the ankles or the shins. It depends on your stretchiness. Align your heels. Lift your heart. Send your heart forward and then roll and drop your head. Elbows are helping the insides of the thighs, and the knees drop away and down. Rise back up. We're going to take hands outside the knees, help them come upright, bring space between the feet and the hands behind you. We're going to take a little windshield wiper movement left and right. Just getting a little bit of torso warm up here. And then we'll move into wide-legged folds. So your knees can come up, legs lengthen, and are as wide as you can make them. I'm going to start upright, reaching the heels away from us and the toes directly in toward your torso. Just sit up nice and tall. You want to scoop your belly and scoot your tailbone forward. If you need to, you can put your hands on your heart, a hand on the belly or the heart, or the hands beside you, or on your kneecaps, but resting as opposed to pressing. You're going to take a look over the right knee and frame that leg with your hands. Your fingers are tented. Take a big breath in. Heart as chest is facing that knee as much as possible, and very gently with your heels reaching away and your toes reaching toward you, walk your hands down the outsides of that leg. You do not have to come deep. I'm super tight today, especially in the 17 degrees. I'm having to put a new registration sticker on the back of my car in 17 degrees. We're reaching with the heels. We come through to center. Walk the hands to center. Reach forward. You don't want to super round the spine. You want to reach the heart forward. So if your heart is not as low as your toes, your heart is reaching toward something sort of a third of the way or the quarter of the way up your wall if you're facing a wall. Rise back up, face the left knee. Frame the left leg with your fingertips on the ground. Heart's facing that left knee. Reach the heels, point the toes toward you, and breathe out. Walk your hands down the outsides of your legs. Half moon, that's all I ever heard. Rise back up. We're going to come back to the center again. That was my share impression. Rise back up. Sweep the legs together. If you need to, especially this early in practice, bend your knees, take a big breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward. Heart's reaching toward your toes, not your thighs. As much as possible, the pinky toes are pulling back toward your shoulders. So if you have a full stretch here and your hands happen to reach your feet, you can use your fingers to help out. And you're reaching the heels away from you. It's just like a standing fold, just like Uttanasana. Rise back up. You're going to scoot over onto one hip and come into tabletop. Tabletop, tabletop, tabletop pie. Cats, cows, hip circles, hula hoop motions. Use the body, use the spine, use the breath. Even though we're working our way to half moon and back, or maybe not all the way to half moon, maybe some other sort of version or prep posture for that. We are working the whole body and we're not making a half effort, no half attempts, full attempts for the half moon. Let's meet in tabletop. And let's stretch the left leg long behind us. Ball of the foot on the earth. Right hand walks just a little bit in front of your shoulder. And you bring the inner edge of the left foot to the earth. You might kickstand your right foot out to the right just a few inches. And we're going to bring the left hand to the heart and face the long edge of the mat. Press the outer edge of the left foot now into the earth. Find your balance and press your pelvis forward. Lift that left arm, coming nice and long. This is a low version of a half moon, also known as rock star. I think some of you have heard me say that before. If you really want to work the thighs and the glutes here and lengthen the spine a little bit more, you can lift that left leg off the earth, continuing to open up your hips. Ta-da! Low half moon. We're going to draw the left hand to the earth. Bring that right foot back to parallel with the knee, and then draw your left knee to your nose. Inhale, extend. Draw your left knee to your left elbow. Inhale, extend. One last time, knee to nose. We're going to stay here for a full cycle of breath, pressing the floor away. Extend the leg once more. Now bend the knee like you were stepping on the sky and just pump that leg up and down. Little quad opening. Draw your knee back to the earth. Shake it out. Hip circles, cats and cows, wiggle, waggle like a puppy. Hip circles doesn't really matter. We're going to take all that to the other side. So hands start under your shoulders. Left hand walks forward just about an inch or so. Left foot kickstands a little out to the left. Right leg extends behind, ball of the foot onto the earth. Reach away with the heel and gather the kneecap up toward the quad. Now bring the inside edge of the right foot down. Bring your right hand to your heart. You're starting to peel open toward the right long edge of your mat. Outer edge of the right foot presses to the earth now. We start to open up the right arm. Hips are now facing the right. We have this beautiful wingspan Heel of the left hand all the way to the right fingertips, and then we float that right leg off the earth, gathering in the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings. Leg doesn't have to be high. Reach away with the heel. 3, 2, whoo, and 1. Right hand down. Unkickstand your left foot. It's not a verb. Right knee to the nose. Inhale, extend. Right knee to the right elbow. Breathe in, get long. Right knee to the nose. Extra round of breath here. Right leg kicks out behind you. The knee bends like you're tickling the clouds with your sole of your feet. And then use the glutes and the quads to pump that leg up and down. It doesn't have to come super far. Knee draws to the mat. Find your way into a child's pose. Knees can be wide, knees can be narrow, your choice. Long, long, long in the chest. Let's bring the palms together. The thumbs face up. The forehead is resting on something. Bend your elbows. Fingers come to the nape of the neck or between your shoulder blades, just like the beginning of practice. Walk your elbows forward one at a time. Starting to open up under the arms, across the chest, the collarbones. Feeling the shoulder blades. I almost said the scaffolding, the scapula. Lift away from the muscle underneath. Rock your head left and right, maybe reminding yourself of your intention, your motivation, your dedication, or maybe you come up with something else. Maybe there's a little mantra. Stretch out that low back. Hands to the earth. Return to a long tabletop, so your hands are about 3 inches in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Lift the hips downward facing dog. Remembering that it is your practice, so if something doesn't work for you, you take something else or you modify it. If down dog is too much, work in tabletop. Maybe pedal in and out of the feet. Lift up to the tippy toes. As you breathe out, press your chest toward your thighs. And then lower the heels back to the earth. 3 gorgeous breaths. Rise to the tiptoes. Bend your knees. Walk to your hands. You could crawl if you need to, just making your way to the front of the mat for Uttanasana with bent knees, feet parallel, belly in contact with the thighs. Interlace your hands, place them behind your head, and drop your elbows. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm talking into my shirt. Neck and head are heavy. Eyebrows waggle. Nod your head, shake your head. Open and close the jaw. Drop your hands to the earth, glide them to your shins, halfway lift to Ardha Uttanasana, long, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, rooting into the earth. And then flow to the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart, Samasthihi. Hands drop by your sides. They lift up and or out and up. Take a twist, left arm forward, right arm back, east, west. Keep your hips as square to the front of the mat as you can. Reach to the fingers like Yamina gazes over your right thumb, if it's possible. Sweep forward, hands in front of you. Lock the arms back into your shoulders. Sit into a chair with arms in front. And because half moon involves balance, even that low half moon dip, we're going to rise to the balls of the feet. Stay on the balls of the feet, sink the bottom down. Draw the belly in, draw the heels down so you can stay low. Inhale, rise up, hands overhead. East-west twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, arms forward, lock them back in. This time they float overhead. And we take chair pose, maybe drawing into cactus-shaped arms to open up the heart a little bit more. Tuck that tailbone. Imagine that the thighs are spinning toward each other. Hands come behind. Elbows stay bent to start with. Maybe you interlace or hook your fingers. Tuck that tailbone, draw down, open up the heart, lift from the pelvis. Now extend your arms long if they can. Stay here for a moment. Then we're going to shift our weight into the right foot, lift the left knee up, and shift into a crescent shape here with the hands behind the back. You might need to adjust for balance, bringing the right foot out to the right. Maybe lengthen your stance so that you're using all of the power of your back leg. Left heel draws down, and we humble this warrior. So we're in a warrior one, lower half. Really stretch and press into the outer edge of that back foot. Rise up, warrior one. And step into chair pose, Utkatasana, feeling free to take cactus shape arms. Rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale for your fold. Step back, high plank. Pause here. Stretch out that plank. Reach with the heels. Maybe you lower halfway down and then press back up. Maybe you don't. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Rise to the tiptoes, bend your knees. Maybe start with the opposite this foot this time as you make your way to the front of your mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. You're welcome to take yogi toe lock or some other bind here. Release your bind, halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to standing. Solid, sturdy, steady in the feet. Light in the heart and the fingertips. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, cactus arms if you like. This time we'll shift our weight into the left foot, lift the right knee, and step into a crescent lower body. Now we'll interlace the fingers behind us, elbows bent to start. We're in a crescent shape. Maybe fingers are interlocked opposite. And we drop the hands, lengthen the elbows. Drop the back heel, warrior one stance. And humble the warrior. This time we're going to plant the hands inside the left foot, lift onto the ball of the back foot, and then lengthen your stance once more. We're in a wide-legged runner's lunge with the hands inside the left foot. Press the left tricep into the left knee and vice versa. Reach that right leg away from you. If that is too much for you, you can always drop your back knee, but you're not squaring up your knee and your hip in this instance. Maybe draw onto your fingertips, lift the belly, and then lengthen your left leg, fold. Ooh, yeah. Inhale, peel the heart forward, bend your left knee. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, peel your heart forward. This time, right hand plants flat on the ground or take a block and then float the left arm high. So still a little wide-legged, but we're taking a twist. Exhale, left hand outside the left foot. Drop your right knee and work your way into Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. So you're pressing your hips over your right knee, extending your left leg, and floating the ball of the foot off the mat. Maybe the hands crawl back. For me, that feels better. I get better balance. Even as I'm stretching that left leg, I'm kind of dragging the left heel backward and reaching the heart forward. So we're doing a lot of hip work, a lot of hamstring work, some quad work, and we're opening up the heart. We've done the movements of the spine. All of this prepares us for first Trikonasana, triangle pose, and then half moon, which also has a Sanskrit name. I can't remember what. Sole of the foot will come to the mat. We'll tuck the right toes under. Come back into a runner's lunge. My mat is sliding everywhere. And step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Open up that heart. Press the hips back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, float to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to take a moment in tree before we take that to the other side. Inhale, arms lift. Did I say tree? I meant mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Some part of nature. We're moving into some nature shape. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Widen your feet a little bit so that the fingertips are more inside the feet. And step your left foot back. Runner's lunge. We're going to heel toe that right foot out to the right a little bit more. Turn our wide-legged fold here. Sorry, runner's lunge. Reaching away with that left heel. Press the right knee into the right tricep and vice versa. It might be that your knee is more on your elbow, or if you're using blocks, maybe on your forearm, outer part. Exhale, lengthen and fold over that leg. Ooh, this side's a little bit tighter. Inhale, runner's lunge. I say a little bit more than a modicum. Reach back with your left heel. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, peel forward. We got one more try here. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, peel forward. Left hand down under your shoulder. Right arm floats higher, twist. This time, right hand down outside your right foot, left knee drops, half split. Untuck your left toes. It makes things easier. Working our way toward our peak pose of half moon. I love you to the half moon and back. Sole the right foot onto the mat. Oh, there goes my mat again. Gonna take me a second. Step the left foot up to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left foot way to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Rise up, crescent warrior. Oh, little balance issue for me today. Heart is opening up. Sweet bend in that front knee. Lots of power in the back foot. We're going to reach the arms in front, lock them back into your shoulders, and then peel open the left arm and the left foot, finding your way into a warrior two. If you prefer, for balance reasons or some other physical aspect, to take this from the ground, feel free. Well, we are taking it from the ground because we're standing on the ground, but from kneeling, flip your front palm, reverse. Warrior two. Reverse. Warrior two. Hands on your hips, extend your front leg. I'm going to use a block for my half moon. So I'm going to go grab my block, come back to my Trikonasana legs, and place the block inside my right foot. Your choice. We're going to start with triangle pose. I'm going to find my balance. So here, hips are facing the long edge of your mat. Right toes face directly toward the front of the mat. Left foot is parallel to the back of the mat, and your legs are straight. Strong, solid foundation, arms out in a T. We're going to reach the right hand as far forward as we can, keeping the shoulders and the hips in line. It's like you're pressed between two panes of glass. Right hand down, left arm high for triangle pose, Trikonasana. This is where you might stay. Or you might drop your right hand, maybe starting with a bend in the right knee, grabbing your block, and then working in to your half moon by lifting your left leg and straightening your right. There is no perfect, it's a practice. Your hand might just be dangling. It might be on a block, or it might be touching the fingertips to the floor. Your leg might not be up very far. Mine is not, but we're going to use our glutes and our thighs to lift and open the heart to the long edge of the mat. We step back into our warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips. Rise back up and pivot the right toes toward the long edge of your mat. Now, if you had taken a peek, you'll know that my half moon is not in its sort of fullest splendor. It is something I'm working on, given a recent diagnosis of Parkinson's. Balance and strength are a little bit of an issue, but we're working our way through it. We're bringing our hands to our hips, toes in, heels out. Let's get really long. Bring your heart forward and your hips fold halfway down. Point your nose toward the earth. Long-legged, wide fold. I like to think it's long-legged. Hands down to the earth. Drop your head. We're going to do that interlace of the fingers again behind the head and drop the elbows. Giving ourselves a little bit of extra help with gravity, or a little extra leverage of gravity with our hands. We're not pulling or pushing or pressing. We're just resting. Hands drop to the earth. They then come to your thighs or your hips. We rise halfway up, belly strong, shoulders away from the ears, sitting bones pressing behind you. Lift all the way up. This time we move into our warrior two, the other direction. So you'll pivot on your left heel so the left toes point to the back of the mat and bend your left knee. Adjust your block if you need to and prep for your half moon. Arms draw out, shoulders and hips are aligned. Gaze is over your left middle finger. We're strong in that back leg and thigh, which is part of your leg. Strong in that front knee as it peels away from the midline. Flip your front palm, reverse. Warrior two, reverse. Move into warrior two. Let's reverse again. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. You might dial your right toes in a tiny bit for Trikonasana. Shoulders above the hips, hips below the shoulders. Arms out. Reach that left arm as far in front of your left toes as you can. Drop the hand to the inside of the left thigh, knee, or calf, and the right arm floats high. Now, I already know that this side is going to be a little more difficult for myself, for my body. But what I'm thinking about is finding my triangle. And then I let go of the thought and simply just let triangle be, whatever it is. And it's all its glory and its perfect imperfections. We look down at the left foot. We shift into that left foot, finding our hand on our block or our prop or just hanging, and then we float the right leg. I'm working on it. Right leg does not want to float much. Right arm high, reach away with your heel. Open your heart to the side of the mat. And when you're ready, step back to your warrior two. Hands to your hips, lengthen your leg, and pivot to the long end of your mat. So for me, It's a practice of physicality for sure, but also a practice of acceptance. Let's bring the heels in, toes out. Bend your knees toward your toes. Tuck the tailbone, draw the belly in. Cactus shape arms, goddess or temple, your choice in what you call it. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, elbows like you mean it. Rise up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, temple. Rise up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, temple. Lift onto the balls of your feet. Keep that tailbone tucked in the belly in, fingers wide. Sink deeper, stay with the heels lifted. Yeah, good stuff. Heels draw down, stay low. Hands to your hips, lengthen your legs. Step to the front of your mat. Yay! We're moving back down to the mat. Arms sweep wide and high, like a flower, sunflower, gathering all the sun's energy and rays. Exhale for your fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step back, high plank. If you like, you can play around with low plank and high plank here. If you like to pull in a little back bend and go back to downward dog, feel free, but where we're going to meet is in tabletop. And from tabletop, we're going to just make sure we're aligned. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, tops of the feet on the earth. Stretch the tops of the feet as much as possible to connect with as much real estate as you can. Keep your hips right over your knees. We're moving into Anahatasana. This little sort of kitty cat, puppy dog kind of flowing into our heart opener. Anahatasana. Anahata, heart. Asana, pose. Heart opening pose. If your shoulders struggle in this posture, bend your elbows out to the side and maybe let the fingertips touch or the thumbs touch, or you could always stack your hands. But the idea here is something in the vicinity of the head, the chin, or the chest is connected to the earth. Maybe return, locking back into your intention, your motivation, your dedication. Softening in the armpits, softening in the heart. And perhaps imagining that you are absorbing the beauty of the sun in the space behind your heart into that little cup on your back. And that wonderful unconditional shine and warmth and energy and vitamin D is wrapping itself around your heart, allowing you to be even more vulnerable, which in this face down posture can be a really nice way to relax and open up to yourself. Tuck your tailbone, draw your way into a child's pose. Walk your hands back toward your hips. Come on to one hip. Find your way to seated. Best thing to do after a back bend is a twist. We're going to take the heel of the right foot, tuck it underneath the left thigh, draw it close to the buttocks. You're welcome to either keep your left heel aligned with your right ankle or cross the left ankle to the outside of the right thigh. Best if you have that right heel really close to the left glutes. We sit up tall, left hand behind, and take our twist, working to draw the ball of the big toe under the left foot to the earth. Come front and center, unwind from that, take it to the other side. Unwind front and center, soles of the feet onto the earth. There's some space between them and space between the heels and the sitting bones. I'm going to take the right ankle and cross it above the left knee. And maybe you stay here, working to activate that foot so you protect your knee and your ankle and press the right knee away. If you have more space to work with, I'm not sure whether I do or not. I'm going to try it out. You tuck your foot into your left elbow and the top of the knee into the right elbow and gather the right shin inward. You're lifting your heart toward that shin and maybe extending the right leg. It feels really nice to play into that hip and thigh with some motion. And then we pop that right foot on the earth. Take those shenanigans to the other side. Left ankle above the right knee. Perhaps staying here is plenty for you, but you really want to work the left knee away from you. Or, I don't think I have it on this side, wrapping up the shin like a baby, drawing it into your heart, extending your right leg onto the ground. Find some movement in your hip. Acceptance of the differences between the two sides. And then we're going to pop both legs long on the earth for Paschimottanasana before we go down to the mat. Just like we did at the beginning of practice, feet parallel, pinky toes drawing in toward the armpits, toes moving back toward your chest. Maybe you don't go very far. Maybe the knees are bent a lot. Now we're going to round the spine, drop the head, and round our way all the way down to the earth. When you get there, knees hug into the chest. Give them a good squeeze. Happy baby. Feet like they're stepping on the sky. Arms inside your knees. Knees draw toward the outsides of the ribs. And if you like, a little massage feels great here. You can rock left and right. It helps to lengthen the legs a little bit or a lot to gain some momentum. And if you fall over to one side, just give yourself a little chuckle and remind yourself, that's just yoga. In any final posture your body is calling for, whether that is Supta Baddha Konasana, flying Supta Baddha Konasana, virtual legs up the wall, or maybe you move right into your Shavasana here. Shoulder blades are melting to the earth. Find your way into your final resting posture. Corpse pose, Shavasana. For you, that might mean seated, or it might mean supine with feet on the floor and knees bent to the sky, or the more traditional arms flop out by the body, but there's space. Legs extend. There's space between the heels. We take a big, huge breath in and let it go. No effort, no hard work, no thinking, but we are human, so we think. And just like the beginning of practice, when something pops into your head, try not to brush it under the rug. Just give it a little hello, give it a little smile. Give it some unconditional welcoming. And really slowly squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. And as you inhale, lift the arms or reach the arms overhead. If the backs of the hands can stay on the earth, that's great. Hook your thumbs, spread your fingers, reach your toes forward, and now breathe in, stretching as long and tall as you can. Long, tall drink of water. Let it go. Bend your knees. Find your way onto one side, whichever side feels like the right place to be right now. And on our sides, the knees gather up toward the chest. And maybe one hand connects with your knees, or maybe both hands do. As if you could float above your body. Look at that cool shape it makes. This never-ending line of humanity, of kindness, of compassion. A circle of life. Your practice helps you move along this circle and spread your love, not just within yourself, but out to others. Return to your intention, your motivation, or your dedication. Press yourself to a comfortable seat. And here we'll close, sending out the merits and our good intentions and dedications out to all of those in need. Breathe all the air out of your lungs. Inhale deeply and fully. Thumb knuckles connect right at your center forehead. May all beings be happy, knowing the root of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering, understanding the causes of suffering. May all beings live, evolve, and transform with ease. Namaste. Thank you to each and every one of you individually and collectively for your beautiful energy working its way over the interwebs. That was lovely to practice with you, and I hope to see you again soon. If you have the funding, donate on saltandsandstudios.com. If you don't, no worries. We are here for you either way. Hundreds of videos to choose, maybe not hundreds, but over 100 of videos to choose from. And I will be back next Saturday live. See you then. Thank you.